So please give Megan a warm welcome.
Woo!
Thank you.
Hope you guys like a presentation of bubbles. That's it. Thank you, Tina. Oh, thank you for the laughs. Thank you, Tina, for inviting me back. I know a lot of you seniors might remember last year we were supposed to do this, and then the pipes burst. So you guys got a nice little afternoon off. But I think did I hear some water flow? No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Well, I'm gonna need these laughs over here. Okay, this is just a bit of a conference. Well, just to give you guys a little bit of a background, when Tina asked me to be the keynote speaker here today, I was thinking about the few times I was up here on this stage. I think the first time I was cast in a Shakespeare play as a boy, which was super cool. The second time was at a Marathon Madness, and I was the only senior here out of all the freshmen. I was singing Singing Bee, also embarrassing. And the third time I volunteered to do, I was hypnotized at an assembly, and I did the worm on the stage. So let's hope the fourth time is a charm, and I don't embarrass myself too much up here. But like Tina said, it's been a little over 7 years since I was at PBI. So when they first invited me to be the keynote speaker, I was like, all right, who canceled? How many people did you guys have to go through before asking me, a 24-year-old right out of college, to address a room full of juniors and seniors about career advice in college? And when I was your age, to make it worse, I had no idea what I wanted to do. Might still not know what I want to do. But I want to come up here and give you guys all of the secrets and all the answers to getting in the best college and landing the best job. But I'm going to come up here and give you guys the truth right now. I don't have those answers. But what I do have are stories and experiences and choices, good and bad, that I've made since my time at PBI. So maybe that's why I'm here today. And regardless, if you're someone out here that knows exactly what you want to do with your life, awesome, I'm jealous. Or if you're someone that has no idea what you want to do, that's okay. I was in that same boat. But there are 3 main lessons that I want you guys to take away from this here today. See, number 1, hashtag goals. Setting goals. And now these aren't just things that you keep wrapped up in your head, but the importance of setting goals is writing them down and talking to people about them. There's so much power in hearing your voice and saying what you want to do out loud. So a lot of you guys might be thinking, okay, cool, well, what if I have no idea what I want to do with my life? How am I supposed to set goals then? That's why number 2 is so important. Having an open mind. And to me, this means being really curious about life and asking tons of questions. And honestly, getting out of your comfort zone, which I know is a very scary thing to do because you might fail, but you also might not. And you learn so much more about yourself the moment you step outside your comfort zone. And the third one is be a teammate in life. And this applies to every single aspect of your life. No matter where life takes you, surround yourself with a really strong team and a support system. Because I think, I don't know if you guys agree, that it's pretty close to impossible to accomplish anything amazing without the support of people around you. So, if you guys don't listen to a word I say here, it's all good. I'll cry about it later. But my goal here is for you guys to be walking out of those doors, honestly feeling relaxed and at ease. I'm looking around, I think you guys know you're feeling a lot of pressure right now, a lot of stress. And you're a student at an amazing school. PBI is an awesome school. But to be a student at an awesome school comes with that high standard and all that stress. So I know what that feels like. Now I'm going to reveal this big secret to you guys right now, right here. It's okay to not have it all figured out. I'm still telling myself that. It's okay to not have it all figured out right now. So kind of give yourself that break, that deep breath. So I did graduate here, 2013, a little bit of background. So happy. I loved high school. I really, really loved high school. And a lot of you guys are thinking you're crazy because all my classmates did. They were pumped to graduate. And I was more like, sorry, what? I have to go adult now? You're telling me it's over? But I went on and during my time here at PBI, we're going back. I want to give you a sneak peek. So I played soccer and lacrosse. I was in CACs. What's up, Mr. Sebastian? that still a thing? That's still there? Awesome. And I went to every single prom, homecoming, any opportunity I had to dance and make a fool out of myself, I was there. Oh, and I also had the best memories from being part of the Six Man. Who in here is in the Six Man? It's not that small now, is it, guys? Is it? Wow. Okay, well, I have to come back and leave some chance. Because I would tell everyone, and this was a rumor that went around the school, that our student section was top 5 in the country. I don't even know how that's measured or if that was even true, but it sounded legit, so I went with it. I also was a part of Options. I volunteered with the PBI Options program, and that is such a unique part of the school, and I think a lot of you guys that are a part of that can attest to that, and if you're not, I highly recommend volunteering with Options before you graduate. All right. So, like I said, I really loved high school, but as you guys can tell, I probably thought I was way cooler than I really was. I did the most. So when it came time for me picking a college, it was a very stressful time for me. And my process was a little bit different. I had a goal of playing Division I soccer, and I wanted to go to a big name school. I wanted to go to Duke or Stanford or UNC and have all this external gratification from people when I would tell them I'm going to this big school. Only problem with that is I was not getting recruited by big name schools at all. And I will tell you, it is not a good thing to be motivated by, is that reaction from other people. But I was getting recruited by some smaller schools, and when the coach from American University reached out to me, my first thought was, what the heck is that? I had never heard of American in my life. I don't know if anyone out here has heard of American before. It's not that far. It's like 15 miles down the road. But I did some research on the school, and I made a very mature decision to commit to American, knowing that it wasn't a big name school with a big football team and awesome, fun partying, I don't know. And I went to the school knowing that it had a really good academic reputation, and it was in the nation's capital, so I would have a lot of opportunities after college. And lastly, I learned that it was really diverse, which you guys are probably thinking, American University, how is that diverse? We actually had a running joke at the school that students from other countries wanting to go to school in the US would Google American universities. What's the first thing that pops up? American, okay, dad jokes are over there. Thank you. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. All right. So while I was in college, I played soccer, and I studied broadcast journalism, and I loved it. Being a D1 athlete was a full-time job, but I truly loved it. We'd practice for 3 hours in the morning, and then go up to class, and then study at night. It was so much, but I truly loved it. And why did I love it so much? Because of my teammates, the people I was surrounded by. I was so worried about that destination of that school. What location am I going to be at when what really mattered were my people. Yeah, we're pretty weird. Yeah, pretty weird. I don't know why I put that up here. That's embarrassing. But I graduated from American in 2017. There I am, acting mature for 1 second. And still, nothing really changed with me making a fool out of myself. And yeah, they're like, please get her off the stage. But while I was in college, I did several internships. Anyone here doing an internship yet? I didn't even know they gave those to high schoolers. That's awesome. But I think a lot of you guys, shout out, I saw that. But I think a lot of you guys probably know what an internship is or have an idea. It's basically where a company sets up a role for someone in college to come out and kind of get a taste of a field that you might be interested in working in. And these are so valuable to you because you might walk in there scared, not knowing what you're doing, but you're going to prove you're a hard worker, make some really good relationships with those people, and ultimately that's how a lot of people get hired full-time, is from an internship. And that is how I got my first job after college, which this was a military nonprofit called the Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors, or TAPS. I don't know if anyone has any military affiliation here, but it was sort of a sad place to work. We cared for families of the fallen, but I worked in a fun department where we planned events for these families to come out and honor their loved one with their favorite athlete or sports team. And it was a really cool thing for me because I got to combine two really important things in my life: sports and the military community, because my dad was in the military. But deep down, I still had that, I was really missing that broadcast journalism aspect. And so I was fortunate enough to land a job here. My handy assistant's gonna come and play. Shout out to Katie, everyone! Yeah! Pressing the button. Good job. Yeah.
Hey, Obi. Hey, what's up? What are you doing in the dark, man? Nothing, just the late night filings. Really? Late night filing? What are you, a Russian spy or something? Yeah. All right, catch you later. Yeah. Пронесло. Да, чуть не спалили.
So our days don't always look like that with pro athletes running around. But ESPN is a really cool place to work. I've been there for 1.5 years now. I help produce videos for college sports, and it's really cool. And so I've enjoyed that for the past 1.5 years. But if you guys are wondering, how the heck does this girl, 1.5 years out of college, get a job with ESPN? I don't know, I'm still asking myself that. But partially was from doing something you guys are doing today. I went to a networking event or a career fair. Same thing you guys are doing today, and I cannot emphasize enough how important these things are. So for you seniors that are about to go off to college, if you see a flyer up on the wall saying, career fair this Friday, promise me you're gonna go, because you never know who you're gonna meet. I'll give you guys a little story of my journey to ESPN. So I was going into this career fair. This was during the time I was working at that nonprofit, and I was so nervous. I don't know how you guys feel walking into the career fair there, but you're like lost. I don't know what I'm supposed to talk about, but I went in there with my little elevator pitch. Ready? You guys know what an elevator pitch is? No? No? That's okay. It's when you hide in an elevator, and no, it's a 20-second little thing where you are able to answer the question of tell me a little bit about yourself, and it's a little, what I'm working on now, here's what my goals are, not too long, not too short. So I had my elevator pitch ready, and I went into that networking event and I talked to as many people as I could. And I actually met this one woman who worked for ABC News, and I thought she was so cool. And so I got her email address, and immediately after this event, I followed up with her, and I emailed her. I was like, thank you so much for talking to me, hire me. No, I just said, thank you so much, I'd love to stay in touch. Radio silence, she doesn't answer me. I'm like, that's cool, I'm just like a little scrub over here, no one cares about me. So I followed up 2 weeks later. Hey, me again, don't know if you forgot about me, probably did. Would love to follow up. Nothing. Not until 6 months later, I got an email in my inbox from this woman saying, hey Megan, sorry, but I have a friend who works at ESPN. I remember you said he likes sports. Just give her a call. I was like, what? ESPN? No way I'm gonna randomly call this lady ESPN. But I don't know if that's crazy or not, but being the crazy person I am, I did a little bit of research on this woman and I gave her a call. She worked in sales and I had no place there, and she's like, but I'll pass you along to someone else. And I was passed along to 6 different people until finally I landed in a place that they thought I would be good enough to be hired in production. So the key to a lot of those phone calls was, like I said, doing my research, because I was just getting a name and a phone number. And I didn't want to blindly call them, but I would Google them, find them on Instagram, and I would have questions lined up. Because it wasn't about what you're telling them about yourself, but what they like to hear are the questions. And you being really interested in what they're doing and showing that you're eager to learn. So, promise me that you guys are going to those career days, because you never know who you're going to meet. All right, enough about me. I see some of you guys falling asleep over here. Who's excited to graduate? Or be a senior? Juniors, I know you're here too. Okay. I like it. Nice. Well, I know all these answers already because I sent you that little survey 4 months ago. I don't know if you guys remember that. So shout out to all 170 of you for participating in my survey. Appreciate that. Some of you guys are like, what survey? Well, I asked you guys what your plans are after graduation. And I just want to say, almost 96% of you plan on going to college, which is awesome. That's really impressive. And I can tell you guys right now, PBI prepares you so well for college. I know you guys are nervous about school, which is what my next question was. Who's nervous? Who's a little nervous? Yeah, it's scary. It's scary. Well, join the 84% of you that are feeling that same way. I don't know what's the math. 16% of you are not feeling nervous. Teach me your ways, because I was 100% nervous graduating high school. But that's okay. That's okay. So, what are you guys most nervous about? 45% of you said schoolwork. Totally makes sense. But like I said, PBI prepares you so well. You guys already know this. You're in high school, you go to school for 8 hours a day. You got extracurricular activities, you gotta study. You guys got a lot going on. College is a little bit different. So, to give you a brief overview, in college, you'll take maybe 5 classes. Some of those classes only meet once or twice a week, so you'll have a day that's jam-packed with class, and then another day that you might not have any class at all. So you're like, free time, let's go, party. Don't do that. The key is to be really organized and use those days that you don't have classes to keep up with your schoolwork. So, I got some advice for you for your first day of school, since you're a little nervous at the beginning of the year. Yeah, well, you don't get them for free in college, sadly, but I got really used to those in high school, so I bought those for myself. And the key is just to write all your assignments down, your schedule down. It's so important to have that in front of you. And number 2 is to get to know your professors. I have a little story about how this comes back to bite you if you don't do this, but on your first day of class, promise me, after class, you go up to your teacher, you shake their hand, you introduce yourself. You don't want to be another face or another name just on a piece of paper. You want to put a face to a name, because freshman year, you could be in a class this big, even twice the size of this, and you could easily hide in the back, not participate, take a nap. Sounds pretty nice. You don't want to do that, because I did that. My freshman year, I took a gen ed history class, which is like a required course, and I did no participating. I had no interest in the class, and the sad thing is we had a book we were supposed to be reading throughout the entire semester, and we had a class discussion scheduled at the very end of that semester to discuss the book. Did I read the book? Nope. Strike number 1. But I thought I was so smart, and I would just happen to be really sick the day of the discussion. So a couple days leading up to the discussion, I emailed my teacher. You guys haven't caught on, I wasn't actually sick. And I said, oh, bummer, I can't make it to the class discussion. I'm like super sick. And he's like, he probably thought, who is this girl? Because he definitely didn't know who I was. And he said, oh, I'm so sorry you're sick. I would love to individually hear your thoughts on the book. Let's have a meeting. Whoa. You guys feel the stress inside of me like building up from that. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't just email this guy and be like, I'm sick forever. So this was on a Tuesday. He wanted to meet on Thursday. I crammed reading that entire book from start to finish. I took notes, I wrote talking points, and I went into that meeting with my professor. Very sleep deprived, but it was one of the most valuable meetings I had ever had. Because the teacher got to know who I was. We talked about my goals. I got to know him. I left that meeting with such a better understanding of that course. And I actually ended up passing the class. And there's no way I would have passed that class if I hadn't had that meeting. You guys can save yourself from all of that mess by just getting to know your professors from the start. Develop that relationship early on. This is one of my stories. Embarrassing stories. All right, who knows what they want to major in or study when they go to college? Cool. I thought I did. I picked which building looked the coolest, and I started with international studies. The building was pretty cool, but looks like a lot of you guys are pretty confident in what you want to major in. That number 4, are people that really know what you want to do, which is awesome. But for those of you who don't, that's okay. Because 75% of college students graduate with a different major than what they started college with. So, out of the 4 of you guys right here, 3 of you are going to change your major once, maybe even twice, before you graduate. I changed my major, and I will share with you guys a little story You guys are like, did we just come and sit in here to listen to these stories? But I like to call my story my mop to mic story of how I changed my major. So, as an athlete, we were required to volunteer at other sporting events. So I volunteered at the basketball team. And I was one of those mop girls. You know, when someone falls and they sweat and you gotta like sweep it up? Yeah, that was me. So I was really proud of my job, okay, guys? And one game, the media guy for the basketball team was like, oh my gosh, the guy who normally interviews the coach at halftime is sick. Like, we need someone to interview the coach. I was like, that sounds kind of cool. Like, sure beats this mock job. So I went over and I was like, hey, can I try that? And they're like, fine, sure, get in there. They were clearly desperate for a body because they let me do this. And I went over to the coach at halftime, got the camera there. I was so nervous. And I did it. And I sucked. I was so bad. I do not go back and watch that video. But part of me thought, I kind of like that. You know, I felt that thrill. I got nervous, but I did it. And I was like, I asked if I could come back, and I kept doing it more and more and more. And I got a little bit better each time. And I realized my college offers this as a study. So I changed my major to broadcast journalism only because I got out of my comfort zone and tried something that really scared me. So, dropped the mop, picked up the mic. That's my other dad joke for the day. It's not really a joke. Thank you. Oh, guys. Too much. My sister is so embarrassed right now.
Doing great, Meg.
Thanks. All right, back to the survey results. What are you guys most excited about? You guys are more than just nervous. You're excited, right? Sleep?
Yeah.
What did we just talk about? We're being on top of it. All right, so a lot of you guys said freedom. More freedom. Lots of freedom. Everyone was saying freedom, which is awesome. You're gonna have a lot more time on your hands, or so it seems. You gotta stay organized and stay focused. Something else no one's excited about. They said buying things on Amazon. Very, very specific. Thank you. We also said to vote. You don't have to reveal yourself, but this is awesome. Whoever wrote to vote is great, guys. This is 2020. We were in an election year. A lot of you guys are going to be 18, right? Or you are 18. This is so important not to just vote, but to also know what you're voting for. To understand. When you guys get all that freedom that you're excited about, you're going to be exposed to lots of different people with different backgrounds, different beliefs, and it's going to be up to you to decide what you believe in. So promise me you go vote. It honestly counts more than you realize. Things we're going to miss. Family and friends. Aww. That's a real thing. I can definitely relate to that, but then, you guys get to say no with friends. It's cool. But this day and age, we're very lucky. It's very easy to stay in touch with people. But the message I'm really going to try to get across to you guys is, it's not all about where you're at, but who you're with. You're going to meet so many new friends, and that's going to be your new family. Just give it some time. What else? What else? You're going to miss being a kid. Yeah, that doesn't change. I definitely act like a child. A lot. There's a time and place for it. What else are you going to miss? Familiarity. I get that. It's a big change. It's a huge adjustment. But remember way back when you guys were freshmen? Little tan skirts, khaki pants, black polos, and that's the uniform? And now look at you. You're upperclassmen. You did it. You did that scary thing. You walked in here day one freshman year. Remember how scary that was? It was scary. And guess what? You're going to have to do it again. But now you can have the confidence that you've gotten through that. Sorry guys, I'm almost halfway done. This is taking a nap. That's cool. All right. So back to those lessons that I mentioned earlier on today. And these are 3 things that I wish someone had told me when I was your age. Or maybe they did and I just wasn't listening. Probably wasn't listening. But number 1, setting goals. So as you start to develop these goals in your head, Talk to people about them. Like I said, there's so much power in hearing your voice say it out loud. Closed mouths don't get fed. Now this is a quote said by Maria Taylor, and she's a sideline reporter at ESPN, but I think this is so true. When you guys are in this career fair, when you're with your family at dinner, talk to people about what you want to accomplish. Because they might have an opportunity or a person they can connect you with, but there's no way they can do that if you don't tell them. So we're talking to people about our goals and we're writing them down. This is so important. I do this. I write what I need to get done, tape it up on my wall, and you know what the best feeling ever is to scratch that off your list and rip it down the wall. But what do you do next? You write a new goal. You keep challenging yourself and you continue to grow. Oh, gave me snake days. But about setting these goals, honestly, you're going to think you want to work towards something, but something in your life is going to happen that might change the trajectory of that, and you might realize you like something new. Just pivot. It's okay. Never be afraid to make that change. All right. So a lot of you guys are like, cool. I have no idea what I want to do. How am I supposed to set a goal then? I don't know how to work towards that. That's why number 2 is so important. Having an open mind. And like I said, this is about being really curious about life and asking tons of questions and getting out of your comfort zone. Like I said at these events, ask people about their background. People love to talk about themselves. I'm up here 45 minutes talking about myself. But people love to hear your curiosity and your interest. And then the second thing is getting out of your comfort zone, which I know is so scary because you have that fear of failing, which is terrifying. We all get those thoughts. You want to ask that person to homecoming, but you don't think they're going to say yes. Or you want to try out for that part of the play, but you don't think you're going to get the part. Well, I was reading this book the other day. Yes, I still read books. Failure is a feeling long before it becomes an actual result. So we convince ourselves up in our heads that it's not going to work out. If we try, it's not going to work out. Before we even try it. And the woman who said this is someone that's riddled with self-doubt and fear of failure. She would never know it. Michelle Obama said this. Woo! Well, shout out. This woman, she said that. Okay, we don't need any of that. We're talking about confidence. This isn't political, this is about confidence. She said this, and she just radiates light and confidence, but you would never know it. She has these same fears. So like I said, and now starting to own your identity. Now this part is really important. So, I have one more story time about something I tried and failed, but I don't like to think of it as a failure. You know, I really learned from that. So in college, obviously I was an athlete or whatever, but I secretly auditioned for the acapella group. Oh gosh. Some of you guys are like, what? Oh, don't clap, it didn't go so hot. I secretly did this. I didn't tell any of my teammates, any of my athlete friends, because it wasn't cool, wasn't the cool thing to do, but I wanted to do it. So I didn't tell them. I went and auditioned, and I sang a little Maroon 5 little Sunday morning. Thought it went really well. And then they were like, oh, now it's time to match pitch. I was like, what does that mean? Any of you guys in music, you guys definitely know what this means, and you're probably way better at it than I am. So they're like, oh, we're going to play a note on the piano, and you're just going to sing it. I'm like, what? And they start playing on the piano, I'm like, Wally, woo. And that is where the train wreck really ensued. And guess what? Surprise, surprise, didn't make it. Well, I was sad for a little bit, but you know what? I learned a lot about myself that I even tried and did something that was so nerve-wracking to me, but I still gave it a shot. So, tell me a little bit more about myself and what I like to do outside of just being an athlete. And this was really important because life threw a big challenge at me in college. So, I had several concussions throughout high school. I don't know if you guys in here who play sports or have been injured with a concussion. It's a scary thing. Mind your eyes, this is actually a photo of my first concussion. Ooh. This was in a game against Ireton. Sophomore year, I think. Boo, Ireton. Well, no one wanted to stay with me at lunch, okay? But I had a concussion, and I continued to get concussions throughout college. In my senior year, 5th game into my senior year, I had such a bad concussion, I was told that day, you can't play soccer anymore. That was rough. That was really, really tough. A soccer player was who I was. That was my identity. That's all I knew myself as. That was my goal. So I cried a lot, and I realized I still have a part on this team. How am I supposed to help my team win if I can't even be on the field? Not that I ever really played that much before I was hurt, but that's a different story. But I had to find a new way to contribute to my team. So I brought the most positive attitude on my team. I was the loudest cheerer on the sidelines. I made fire playlists for the locker room and for warm-ups. So I found ways to really contribute to my team, and through all of that, I learned a lot about myself, that I was more than just an athlete, and that I loved music and dancing and to entertain people, and people to yell at me to stop dancing, but I learned all that stuff, and that was really, really important to me. So, it's very cliche, but it's very true. When one door closes, another one opens. So as you guys can tell, in high school and college, I was an athlete, and I always thought I had to live up to that image. But then, tried that acapella thing. I know a lot of you guys might feel that same thing. You're an athlete, or you're in the band, or you're in theater, or anything else you're a part of, and that's your identity, which is awesome. Be proud of that. But if there's something deep, deep down that you really want to try, and you've been too scared to do it, college is an awesome time to try that. You might be going to a school where you don't know anyone. Perfect. No one's there to judge you. Go try that new thing. Life always begins one step outside of your comfort zone. I'm hitting you guys a lot of quotes, so I have to write this down. But if there's something deep down, like I said, try that new thing. So, when I got this job at ESPN, I had to move. I moved from DC to North Carolina. I knew no one. I'm like, you know what this means. Time to try something new. So, deep down, I always wanted to try. I'm sharing all these secrets with you guys, by the way. I feel very comfortable. I wanted to try improv. Whoa, so I don't know, it's a mixed feeling over here. I wanted to try adult comedy improv. I'm like, cool, let's go make some friends. They're probably funny. So I went out and tried improv, and I loved it. I didn't tell any of my athlete friends, you do it? Yeah, let's go. Improv is awesome, guys. Be proud of that. Guys, improv is awesome. So I'm not here to talk about improv, but what I learned, it's not about being the funniest or dropping the funny line. Improv is part of a team. You try to set up your teammates to look good, to say the funny thing, and ultimately your team's gonna look good because you supported those people around you. What does that sound a lot like? Life. I don't know what you said, it was probably a good answer too. We'll talk later. Yeah. But that sounds a lot like life. And that's why the third one to me is so important. Being a teammate in life. Everyone's been part of a team or a group here at some point, whether you're on a sports team, you're on dance, cheerleading, yearbook, Model UN, SGA, CAC, what am I missing? You guys have all been part of it. Group projects, you guys got a name for your friend group? Whatever it is, you guys have all been a part of a group. You can talk amongst your group later. But the key to this is to realize at the time, to be accountable, to be a good listener, and to be inclusive. So number one, when you go off to college, you're going to be in group projects, and your group is going to rely on you to get your stuff done. Be accountable. Not yet. And then in the real world, you're going to work with a lot of different people with different ideas on how to get something done. Still, be a good listener. And lastly, in life, you're just going to meet people from so many different backgrounds. So no matter what they believe in, who they love, where they come from, be inclusive. All right, I'm going to leave you guys with a couple challenges here. Nap time is almost over. Just kidding. All right, we're going to put some of these lessons into practice, starting today. So, I know a lot of you seniors already did your career fair, but like we talked about, you're going to go to them when you're in college. But at the career fair, go to 2 tables at least of something you're not interested in. I know, that sounds really awkward. You're going to want to be gravitated to those tables of something you're familiar with, but go to at least 2 tables you're not interested in and ask these questions. What do you do? That's easy, 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 easy. These people are here to tell you what that they do. And sometimes you might hear something that sparks an interest in you that you might have never thought of before. Maybe you can ask them what their biggest challenge is at this job, what their favorite part is. Be a good listener, like we just talked about. And lastly, if you hear something and you meet someone that's awesome, even if you don't, even if you just gather a bunch of emails, follow up with these people today. I somehow swung a job with ESPN doing the same thing, so you never, never know. And lastly, this is the biggest challenge for you guys and for me. This is something I'm telling myself every day. Enjoy the ride. Live in this moment right now, guys. It's so easy to get caught up in the destination. What college am I going to go to? What job am I going to get? Everything down the road, when we forget to really live in this moment. And you know what that comes with? Social media, too. I get caught in this all the time, taking a deep Instagram dive. I'm like, oh, she's so pretty. She's doing the coolest stuff. And you get so jealous of other people. But you know, Instagram is everyone's highlight reel. It's true. You see all the best parts of their life, which is awesome. You see your friends so happy doing the coolest stuff. Be proud of them for that, but don't compare yourself to that. Because you don't see what's behind the scenes. Okay? So, one more last thing to hit you guys with some truth. I'm not in my dream job right now. I'm not. I'm working towards something, but I'm not in it right now. But I feel okay about that. You know why? Because number 1, I'm setting goals. Number 2, I'm learning and trying new things every single day to get out of my comfort zone, to do stuff that scares me. And number 3, I've got a strong support system around me. I've got some awesome, awesome people around me that I know believe in me, and I do the same for them. So as long as I have those 3 things, I'm feeling good. It's the day that you stop learning, stop trying new things, and maybe you need to reevaluate what your goals are. All right, so with all that being said, try not to get too caught up in the destination, because we're going to miss this present moment right here, which is where you're going to learn the most about yourself. So, you guys got this. I have faith in you. All right. Does anyone have any questions? I know I just covered a lot of stuff. Yeah. What's my dream job? My dream job is to be an MLS team reporter, or for the U.S. Women's National Team. That's my dream job. Hey, you know what? I just had chills because I said it out loud. That felt good. I don't tell enough people about that, so thanks for asking me. What else? Yeah, you have a question? Yeah, what's up? Oh, you don't want to do that. No, I have nightmares from that all this shit. Anyone else have a question? All right. Oh, question? We're not talking about Instagram, okay? Remember the whole thing I said about Instagram? All right, guys. Just one last thing. I'll be in the auditorium if you guys want to come chat and ask me other questions. So thank you guys so much.